I'm just now discovering all the neat games that can be found on Board Game Arena, and one of them is Unconditional Surrender World War II in Europe by GMT Games. I'm going to walk through a little tutorial that someone put together and show you a little bit about how to play here on Legendary Tactics. So I have to give credit to the person that put together the tutorial and also the person that put this onto Board Game Arena. It looks like a really neat game. It looks like it's a little bit more involved though. On Board Game Geek, it says it can take up to 3,000 minutes to play, so it can potentially take a little while. And I'll zoom out and show you the map, and that may give you an idea of why. It looks like it's basically almost like an update on the old Avalon Hill game Third Reich or something like that. And it looks very detailed, but apparently it's pretty simple to play. So I'm going to walk you through this little tutorial. It just gives you a taste of how to play. It doesn't pretend to teach you all the ins and outs, and I don't know if I'd be able to do that in a short time anyway. So, but just to introduce you to the game, if you like this type of game, if this is you like the grand strategy World War II games, then this might be something to look at. So I'm going to walk through this, and in this scenario, we just need to capture Denmark and Norway using a few units here specifically in this area. So first of all, we need to basically do this in 2 turns, and there's a bit of instructions as far as how to navigate around the board using Board Game Arena. And so we're going to start with this unit right here, this German unit, and we click on it to activate it. And when you activate it, you can do things like moving and attacking and so forth. So we're going to attack this Denmark unit. It's a little bit far away from where we are, so we're going to click here first to move, and you can see the range of available spaces that can be reached. Because basically this unit had 8 movement points. It has 7 remaining now, and in general it costs 1 movement point to move into each space. There is a bunch of terrain here, as you can see, and I'm sure that they cost a different amount depending on the type of terrain. That would make sense to me. And so when we come back down here, weather is also going to factor in to this equation, and this is kind of neat actually. So you can see here that the weather conditions are in the cold zone, mild zone, and warm zone. So you can see there's 3 different zones. Desert zone is always fair. Denmark happens to be in the mild zone, so the weather is fair, which means attacks are not affected. If it's in poor or severe, then there are negatives to attacking in that type of weather. So because the weather's fair, we're all good to attack, and so we are going to click on this unit to attack, and there's a little pop-up box here where it says ground combat. The German attacks with +2 die roll modifier, which is always true of German units, and because the Danish ground unit is reduced, it defends with a -2 die roll modifier. So we're going to click here to confirm the attack, and once we do that, we're going to have the option to add any nearby air units can be used as support. And so we can click on this to commit the air support in fair weather. That gives us another +2 to our die roll. We're going to commit that unit. And then we get a final roll here, and you can see that I was rolling with +4, and I rolled a 4, so that gives a die roll of 8. The Danish unit is rolling with a -2 die roll modifier, and so ends up with just a 2, so we are victorious, and the result is that the defender is disrupted. And so we can click on that, and that unit is essentially crushed. And now we can advance after combat. So we're going to advance into the empty space, and you can see we still are going to have 5 movement points left here. So we're going to click here, And again, it still shows you the range of different spots we can move with the movement points that we have remaining. However, we can steam right into Copenhagen with 1 movement factor to spare. So we're going to roll into there, capture Denmark, and so now we can choose to deactivate the unit. Once you deactivate a unit, it's done for the turn. So we're going to deactivate that unit. Now all we need to do is to launch an amphibious attack on Oslo, and that can be done. If you notice here, there's some options that have popped up. We have the airdrop, we have surface action, and we have surprise attack. So we're going to place that surprise attack in zone 12. And that means that we can, we can essentially choose that zone to have a surprise attack. And in fact, we're going to place that right onto the onto that space. Oh, and so we're going to place it in zone 12 here. And so now we need to activate the ground unit on this space here. So we're going to activate it. And you can see all the different options of movement. However, none of them end up in Oslo. So we need to take the naval transport. You may have noticed that other boat that was underneath. So we'll take the convoy, and ships have 10 movement points. And so they can, we're going to, now that we've activated the convoy, we're going to choose amphibious invasion. And we're going to choose this, we're going to confirm the escort, sorry. And then we have these choices as far as where we can do an amphibious invasion. And we're going to choose Oslo. So that's going to be where we're going to attack. And so now the die roll modifier is 0 because an amphibious invasion combined with the fact that we're attacking a city cancels out the Germany bonus. However, with Norway's die roll modifier is -2, we should be able to pull off a victory here. So we have 0. We have no airplanes, no Air Force within range to join in. And so because the Norwegian unit is reduced and is weakened, it's a -2 to them. So we should be able to pull this off. We're going to confirm the attack. We have no air units available to commit because they're just not close enough. And so we're going to commit to that. They both rolled 4s conveniently, so the die roll modifier decided that battle. And so we end up with 4 and the Norwegians end up with 2. Now that's a defender retreat result. So they retreat out of Oslo, and we advance after combat and capture Oslo, and we win this scenario. Now again, this is a really simple scenario. There's another phase that involves setting up supply lines and a bunch of other things. So there's a lot more to this game, but I think this is a really neat looking game, and I'm really excited by this scale, especially if it plays nice and simply. I've always been intrigued by Avalon Hill's Third Reich, but I've always been too chicken to actually sit down with the rules and learn how to play it. And so, again, this is going to be fairly heavy as well, but at least the basics seem to be fairly simple. And again, a big thanks to Fufu9906 who put together the tutorial, and apparently Luna LOL brought this game to Board Game Arena. So if you're interested in checking it out, either the hard copy or here on Board Game Arena, I think it will intrigue a certain type of wargamer. So thank you very much for watching. We hope you got a lot out of this little tutorial, and we'll see you here next time on Legendary Tactics.